The Talking Fox. It was a strange, stormy day in the small town of Silver Vale. Mr. Lewis, an old scholar with a love for books and writing, sat at his heavy wooden desk in his quiet study. But today, something unusual was happening again. With a loud snap, his favorite quill broke into two pieces. Ink splattered everywhere, staining the paper and his old, worn desk. This was the third time today that his writing tools had failed him in such a mysterious way. From behind the open study door, little Billy, the cheerful page boy, trembled as he spoke. "Sir, the Talking Fox is angry again," he whispered. Ever since the strange events started 7 days ago, the Lewis household had never been the same. Books were torn apart, chairs seemed to move on their own, and even more eerie of all, a soft, clear voice could be heard in the hallways, though no one could see who was speaking. At that moment, a clear, young voice drifted in through the window. "Mr. Lewis, did you notice the old book you bought yesterday? There was something hidden inside it." The voice was light and teasing, as if it belonged to a playful spirit. Mr. Lewis's eyes widened. He remembered that battered old book, a thick, dusty volume with a faded title, and now he recalled a yellowed slip of red paper tucked between its pages. On that paper were strange symbols and words he could not understand. Mr. Lewis frowned as he cleaned up the ink. He wondered if these odd happenings were connected. Every time he tried to write something important, his quill would break, and mysterious voices would echo in his ears. Something supernatural was stirring in his home, and it all pointed to the legend of the Talking Fox that everyone in Silver Vale had whispered about. A few days later, the town buzzed with news of a new official arrival. Mr. Douglas, a tall, confident man with a booming voice and a knack for making an entrance, was the new governor of Silver Vale. He was known for his strict sense of justice and his unusual habit, even on the brightest, sunniest days, Mr. Douglas always carried a large blue umbrella. This was no ordinary umbrella. It was decorated with a magnificent picture of a mighty beast, part lion, part eagle, a creature from old legends that was said to see the truth in people's hearts. One bright morning, Mr. Douglas strode confidently into Mr. Lewis's study. "I have come to put an end to these strange happenings," he declared loudly, as if he were about to banish a mischievous spirit. As he walked, his blue umbrella gleamed under the sun, and many in the town called him Douglas the Just. But as soon as Mr. Douglas stepped into the study, something very odd happened. A soft, giggling laugh came from above, from the wooden beams of the high ceiling. "Oh, Mr. Douglas," the voice teased, "is it true that the third rib of your umbrella hides a secret gift list for those rich merchants?" The laughter was light and mocking, echoing through the room. Mr. Douglas's face turned pale. He clutched his umbrella tighter, and with a sharp clack, the umbrella snapped shut. No one noticed that a small cloud of sparkling gold dust had floated out from the folds of the umbrella and landed on Billy's clothes. Later that evening, when Billy was alone by the well, he discovered that the gold dust had gathered to form names. Names like Salt King Warren and Fabric Merchant Brown appeared in the glittering dust, names of the richest people in Silver Vale. It seemed that Mr. Douglas's strange umbrella held secrets of its own, and these secrets hinted at corruption and hidden wealth. The mysterious laughter and the secret names foreshadowed that not everything was as fair and just as Mr. Douglas claimed. Deep down, it was clear that the Talking Fox might be trying to reveal a darker truth about the new governor. Meanwhile, down by the old stone well in the courtyard of the Lewis household, Aunt Mary was busy drawing water. Aunt Mary, the kind and practical cook of the house, had seen many odd things in her time. But today, she gasped in surprise. Floating on the water was a small, green fruit, a date-like fruit that looked strange and unfamiliar. This was not the first time. In fact, It was the 7th time Aunt Mary had found a gift in the well. In previous weeks, she had also discovered bundles of healing herbs and little packages of medicinal ointment. All of these mysterious gifts were perfect for treating her dear old mother, who had been very sick for a long time. The other helpers whispered as they worked. "Aunt Mary isn't afraid of the fox spirit," they said. They remembered how sometimes, while Aunt Mary was cleaning the study, a sweet-smelling pastry would suddenly drop from the ceiling, landing right in her basket of herbs. It was as if the mysterious force was trying to help her. That same stormy night, as rain pounded the roof and thunder rumbled in the distance, Aunt Mary went to check on her ailing mother. When she opened the door to the small bedroom, she saw something very strange. There, at her mother's bedside, knelt a young man dressed entirely in white. His eyes shone like bright stars as he gently applied herbal medicine to her mother's sore knee. "Who are you?" Aunt Mary managed to ask in a hushed whisper. But just as quickly as he had appeared, the young man vanished into a swirl of white mist, leaving behind only a small packet of cough medicine leaves. Aunt Mary stood in the doorway, her heart pounding. She felt both comforted and puzzled by the mysterious help. Was this young man a messenger from the talking fox? Or was he a spirit sent to care for those in need? The gifts from the well and the strange visitor seemed connected, hinting at secrets buried deep within Silvervale's past. One dark and chilly night, when the wind howled outside and the rain tapped steadily on the window, Mr. Lewis awoke suddenly. He felt his hand moving on its own, as if controlled by an unseen force. Before he could stop it, his hand began to write feverishly on a blank piece of paper. Words filled the page in a hurried, messy script. They spoke of crimes and corruption, of Mr. Douglas, the new governor. The paper revealed that, on a certain month and day, Mr. Douglas had accepted a bribe of 500 silver coins from a salt merchant. It even said that on another day, Mr. Douglas had taken over a poor farmer's land by forging documents. Mr. Lewis stared at the paper in shock. If these words are true, he whispered to himself, then Mr. Douglas is a very greedy man, a thief who has hurt the people of Silvervale. His heart pounded as cold sweat dripped down his back. Suddenly, the clear, playful voice from before spoke again, softly, "Bring this evidence to the magistrate, and you will save our town from injustice." The next morning, while Mr. Lewis was still thinking about his strange midnight writing, little Billy was playing by the well. He noticed something unusual, a wet, old blue umbrella lying near the water. Billy picked it up and saw that, wedged in one of its ribs, was half of a small jade earring. He recognized it immediately. It was exactly like the earring that Mr. Lewis's beloved wife had worn when she passed away many years ago. The mysterious events were piling up. The broken quill, the strange voice, the odd gifts, and now this lost earring all hinted at a deeper secret. Could it be that the talking fox was not just a playful spirit, but a guardian trying to expose the hidden crimes of Mr. Douglas? Mr. Lewis felt torn between fear and determination. He knew that if he could uncover the truth, he might finally bring justice to Silvervale. The mysterious writing on the paper, and the ghostly hints from the unseen voice would lead him to a turning point in his life, a moment when the secrets of the past would come to light. On the 7th night, as a fierce storm raged outside and thunder boomed like giant drums, disaster struck. In the midst of the tempest, the study caught fire. Flames leapt higher than the tall trees in Silvervale, and the inferno spread quickly. Mr. Lewis, overcome with grief and shock, sank to the floor and watched in horror as the fire danced among his cherished books and papers. In the raging flames, Mr. Lewis saw something that made his heart break. Among the burning pages and dancing sparks, a red wedding dress appeared. It floated in the fire like a ghostly vision. The dress was elegant, and from its flowing sleeves, a delicate jade bracelet could be seen, a bracelet that Mr. Lewis had given to his wife when she was alive. Tears streamed down his face as he cried out, "Wife, my dear wife." 10 years had passed since his beloved had died, but the pain was as fresh as ever. As Mr. Lewis wept in the fiery glow, Aunt Mary burst into the room holding a heavy iron box. "Sir, look," she shouted urgently. She opened the box to reveal a folded letter. The handwriting on the letter was shaky and appeared as if it had been written in blood. With trembling fingers, Mr. Lewis read the words. "Mr. Douglas forced me to become his mistress. I had no choice but to pretend I was dead to escape his cruelty. But thanks to the fox spirit's help, I found a way out. Signed, your loving wife." The letter sent a shock through Mr. Lewis. It confirmed his worst fears. Mr. Douglas, the man who had come with his shining umbrella and promises of justice, was deeply corrupt. And even more haunting, the letter was written by his very own wife, his dear wife, who had passed away so long ago. Now, her spirit seemed to speak to him through the mysterious powers of the talking fox. This was the turning point. The fire that had consumed the study, the ghostly wedding dress, the lost earring, and the chilling letter all converged into one clear message. The talking fox and the strange events were not random misfortunes. They were signs meant to reveal the truth about Mr. Douglas and the hidden wrongs in Silver Vale. Mr. Lewis knew that he had to act, not only to honor his wife's memory, but also to save the town from injustice. 3 months later, justice finally came to Silver Vale. Mr. Douglas was arrested and charged with corruption. The people learned of his misdeeds, and how he had stolen money and lands from the honest citizens. With Mr. Douglas behind bars, a new hope spread through the town. Mr. Lewis, now determined to rebuild his life and help his community, decided to transform his old, damaged house into a school. This school was not just any school. It was a special academy for the girls from poor families, so they could learn and have a better future. He called it the Stone Fox Academy. The academy was filled with light and hope, and every beam of wooden pillar was carefully carved with gentle images of foxes. On the edge of the roof, a small stone fox statue sat silently, watching over everyone, as if guarding the academy with ancient wisdom. As the days turned colder and winter arrived, something even more miraculous happened. On the day of the winter solstice, Aunt Mary's elderly mother, who had been bedridden for years, suddenly got out of bed and walked slowly, smiling for the first time in many long years. The old woman reached under her pillow and pulled out a small green fruit, a jujube, just like the ones Aunt Mary had seen before at the well. When she looked closely, she saw that the seed of the jujube had a tiny mark that looked like the word grudge. It was as if the fruit carried a message from the past, a reminder that old wrongs could never truly be forgotten. Aunt Mary remembered that on the night of the fire, she had found an iron box among the ruins. In that box was another letter, a final, desperate message from her own long-lost sister. The letter told how Mr. Douglas had forced her into a terrible life and how, with the help of the magical fox spirit, she had managed to escape by faking her death. Aunt Mary clutched the letter tightly, tears in her eyes, knowing that the talking fox had helped many people in their time of need. Outside, the wind carried a few fallen sycamore leaves into the room. As they drifted, their veined patterns formed a shape that looked like a smiling face, a gentle, friendly smile. In the bright classroom of the Stone Fox Academy, the young girls recited a simple poem they had learned, one that spoke of justice and truth. Heaven and earth hold true and fair. Each has a story, a truth to share. When kindness guides and justice rings, even the wildest heart can sing. Their clear, soft voices filled the room with warmth, and in that moment, a bright red feather drifted gently from the rafters. It landed softly on a torn page of the old mysterious book that had once caused so much fear. The page was filled with strange symbols and faded words, but now it shone in the light, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. Billy, who had grown up amidst all these strange events, now worked happily as the helper at the academy. Every time he looked up at the stone fox on the roof, he felt a sense of wonder. Sometimes, when the afternoon sun shone through the window, he could see a little figure in white walking along the roof. The figure, a young boy in white, would wave for just a moment before disappearing. It was as if the spirit of the talking fox had taken a new form, always watching over the children of Silvervale. The talking fox had been the silent guardian through all the mysterious events, from the broken quill to the burning wedding dress, from the secret writings in the night to the strange gifts in the well. Its messages, though sometimes cryptic, had led to the downfall of a greedy man and had helped heal many old wounds. Now, with the Stone Fox Academy standing proudly as a symbol of hope and truth, the people of Silvervale learned a very important lesson. They learned that even in the darkest times, when strange and scary things seem to happen, kindness and truth will always find a way. The mysterious fox spirit, with its playful voice and secret gifts, had shown them that the past, no matter how painful, can be healed with love and courage. And as long as people remembered to be kind and to stand up for what was right, no evil could ever truly win. In the years that followed, Silvervale became a town of light and learning. The Stone Fox Academy flourished, and many young girls went on to achieve great things, carrying the lessons of justice, compassion, and courage in their hearts. Mr. Lewis continued to write and share stories, always remembering the gentle spirit of his dear wife, and the mysterious fox, who had guided him when he needed it most. Even Billy, now a bit older, would sometimes catch a glimpse of that little figure in white on the roof. Each time, he smiled, knowing that the talking fox was still watching over them all, silently promising that no secret would ever remain hidden and no injustice would ever go unpunished. And so, in Silvervale, the legacy of the talking fox lived on. It was a reminder to every child, every teacher, and every neighbor that even the strangest events can lead to beautiful beginnings. In the soft rustle of the sycamore leaves outside, in the gentle glow of the morning sun on the academy's carved beams, and in the whisper of the wind through the town, the voice of the talking fox could still be heard, guiding all toward a brighter, kinder tomorrow.